Alright, hello, welcome. This will be the first Unity tutorial covering the retro game design series. Welcome to this tutorial series, and I hope you will learn a lot and have fun while making games. So, I'm going to start off with the first thing, which is we're going to import all of the custom assets that I created for this course. To do this, we are going to go up to where's the assets folder. Now, if you're using a Mac, this might be a little bit different, but everything will be relatively in the same position. So you're going to go to the Assets folder, or Assets menu, click on Import Package, and click Custom Package, like that. Now you're going to go and find your Unity package, wherever it may be. I have mine inside my Unity package folder. I'm going to click this button, and I'm going to click Open. Now it will say preparing package and decompressing, and with that my package has been decompressed. Now all this stuff will be checked on. You can actually just leave all of this checked on because we want to import everything in this package. So I'm just going to click the button Import. And you wait a little bit, and wait a little more, and it will be done, maybe. So while we wait for that, I just want to talk a little bit about the Unity game engine. Now, Unity is one of the most well-known game engines. Well, one of the top three most well-known game engines, and one of the most commercially used one, because Unity has a very wide amount of people who use the software, and that makes it have a lot more resources that many people can use, and it makes it easier to pick up. So Unity is one of the most well-known game engines that industry professionals use to create their own games. Now that the package has been imported, we're going to get started. Now I've already created a new level. When you first create a project inside of Unity, you'll need to create a you need to name your project and set a location for it. But when you make it, you'll just be brought into a blank screen like this. It will say Untitled. Right next to it, it says whatever your project name is. My project name is called Unity Lab. But your screen will basically more or less look like this. Now I'm going to go over what each of these major menus are. So this first menu right here that I'm hovering over is called our scene view. This is how we can place objects for a game. This is where we place objects for our game inside of here. This is how we make our game. To the left of that, you have your hierarchy, and the hierarchy just basically lists all your objects inside your scene view. So if I were to go and add in a new cube object like this and move it, that cube will be inside your hierarchy. So it just lists all the assets in your game. To the right here, right now I have mine on services, but yours will be on inspector. And this will list all of the attributes for your object. So it'll list the position and rotation and scale of your object like this. And whatever change I make here will also be reflected here. It lists if your object has any collider or any other component like that on it. It just lists all of the components for this object. I'm going to delete that object. Below here we have our project, we'll call it our project browser. Kind of like the content browser in some other game engines, but we'll call this the project browser. And what this does is this lists all of the different assets that you've imported into your scene. So when you imported the game design package that I provided for you, you were brought with all of these folders. Inside these folders, we have a varying list of different objects to choose from. So inside the assets folder, you can go into 2D sprites and go into environment. And in here, you'll have a bunch of 2D sprites and 2D images for your game. Like so. We have audio in your audio folder, and your levels in your level folder. And the way I keep my folders, like to keep them organized, because after a while when making a game, you'll have a bunch of different levels, materials, assets, so on and so forth. And if you don't know where things are, it will be a really big pain to try and find things after the fact. So I just like to keep everything in centralized folders. So here you have your assets menu, and also if you do not have a list like this, you can actually change that. Let me see if I can just change this very quickly. So right at the bottom of your Unity window, if I can get to it, okay guys, sorry, I had to do something to get rid of that toolbar down here. Now it is hidden. So if for some reason your icons are a little bit bigger than mine, you can just click this little slider down here and bring it down until you get a list view. Now I particularly like the list view because it allows me to see the full name for each object, like so. On your right, you have your favorites, which basically have all the objects and object types that you could normally use. And you also have the assets folder, like how we had before. And the assets folder had all the list all the assets in your project. Now this smaller asset folder is the asset folder that I created for you guys, which contains all of your art graphics. So to show you what we're going to be making, I'm going to go into my levels folder, click on 2D levels, and click on 2D game. Now to actually you want to save the changes you've made to your scene, I'm just going to click no, because I haven't really done anything, so I don't really care about any of these changes. So you'll see mine is on a 3D mode right now, and that's okay. You're supposed to start in a 2D, but I'm going to actually start mine started in 3D, so I just have to change that. If you started in 3D and you want to be in the 2D view like this, what you can do is you can go up to Edit, Project Setting, and Editor. And on the right hand side, you'll see Default Behavior Mode. If right now it's set to 3D, I'm just going to make that 2D. And now by default, my game will be in 2D. Now I'm going to click the play button. And this is the first game we're making, a Pong game. Ooh. Playing Pong by myself is pretty challenging. Yeah, I'm probably going to end up losing. That is fine though. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely going to lose. Okay. Oh, no, player 2 lost. Well, I would hope for player 1 to win, but whatever. Anyway, I'm done with that game, so I'm going to go click this plus button up here and get back. So this is an example of exactly what we're going to be making for this course, well, for this lesson. Now, this lesson can be split into two parts. The first part is going to be just getting used to Unity like we're doing right now, and doing some basic designing and placement of objects. The next lesson we'll finish up applying our scripts to our objects and making this game more playable. So to get started, I'm going to make a new level again, and I'm going to start by going into the assets folder, the top asset folder. I'm going to go into assets, 2D sprites, and I'm going to start with an environment. And I'm going to choose my Pong 005 background environment and drag it in here. Now when I drag this in, I want my environment to be in the middle. So I'm going to change position of this to be 0, 0, 0. Now, a few things I forgot to mention. If you want to move your image, you can press the W key and move it like this. If you want to rotate your object, you can press the E key, E as in Edward, and rotate your object like that. E. And if you want to scale your object, you press the R key, and you can scale it by either clicking on these boxes and dragging it, or you can click on the actual wire and drag that. But another way you can do it, if you want to scale it and keep everything in the same relative size, you can press this middle one, click and drag, and it scales everything uniformly. Now I'm going to set that back to default. There we go. Cool. If you want to zoom into your object, you can hold down the Alt key. When using 3D and using any game engine, it's best to have a 3-button mouse. And the reason for that is because when you hold down the Alt key, you can right click and drag to zoom in and out. You can left click and drag to tumble or to rotate your scene. This is more useful when you're in a 3D view like this. You can rotate around your scene. And you can middle mouse click and drag to pan to the left or right or up and down. Like that. And you always hold down the Alt button when you're using right click and drag, left click and drag, or middle mouse click and drag. Now left click and middle mouse doesn't really have that much of a difference inside of the 2D view, but it becomes more useful when you're in a 3D view, so it's best to get used to using middle mouse to pan to the left or right. But anyway, I digress. Now, I put in my background, and now what I want is, I think I want to put in a divider. Now, you don't have to do this, I just like to do it for personal preference. Just to divide the screen in half. And maybe I'll put in this glow. Why not? Cool, so I have my outer boundary and all this other good stuff. Great. Now, I have my background done. I want to actually start adding in my players now. So I'm going to go back up to 2D sprites. Click on character. And I'm going to click on Pong player 1 and drag him into my scene. Now, first thing I want to do is I want to set the position X to be 0, position Y to be 0, and position Z to be 0. The reason for that is I'm going to actually press the W key and move this to the left on the X axis, which is left and right. And you know that by it's the yellow arrow right now. So I'll put this roughly around right here at -7. Now when I drag on player 2, I'm going to zero him out like that. But instead of moving him to the left and right like this, I'm actually going to select this player, get the value for player 1. I'm going to press Control C to copy. On a Mac that will be Command C. And I'm going to Control V as in Victor to paste. On a Mac that will be Command V. Now right now, when I do that, the character player 2 is now placed right on top of player 1. And you can see that right here. Now instead of player 2 being on top of player 1, I'm going to, instead of making it -7, I'm going to make it +7. Now, the player 2 is all the way on the opposite side of player 1. The reason I copy these values is because I want these characters to be at the same relative distance away from each other, so that one player doesn't get us advantage or disadvantage from being too close or too far. Cool. Now with that done, I want to start adding functionality for the character to move. So I'm going to first add in what's called a rigid body. Now, what a rigid body is it's Unity's way of handling physics, and how we have real like physics inside the real world, such as gravity and velocity and everything else. In a game engine, you actually have to tell the game engine to use these forces. So we're going to add a rigid body 2D since we're working with a 2D object. And I'm going to add one to my first character player and one to my next player by clicking add component, type in rigid body and rigid body 2D. Cool. Now I'm going to play this game just to make sure that worked. And you know it worked because they both fall to the ground like rocks. Now, the reason they both fall to the ground is because of a thing called gravity scale. Gravity scale basically activates gravity inside of Unity. We don't really want gravity because this is a 2D game, and in a real-life Pong did not have any gravity to it, so why should this one? So I'm just going to make the gravity scale 0 here, and make it 0 here. Cool. Now, next thing we're going to do, we're going to actually add in our movement script that I've created for you guys. So, to do that, I'm going to click on this assets folder here. I'm going to go down to where it says scripts. I'm going to click on 2D scripts, and I'm going to find one that says Pong player movement. And I'm going to click it, left click it, and drag it and drop it right over this character. 1 and 2. Look at that. Cool. Now both of them have it. Another way you can do this, if for some reason you're finding it hard to click it and drag it like this, you can also say I'm going to remove this component. You can type in Pong player and get the same result by doing this. Now I have a move up. I'm gonna make this, since this is my left hand character, I'm gonna make it so when you move up you press the W key, and I just pressed the W key on my keyboard and it automatically selected W for me. Now for move down, I'm gonna click that and press the D key, no, the S key. S is in Sally for move down. Let's see if I can. Now pressing the S key did not work, so I'm just gonna manually go down there like that. Now you don't need left or right because this is a Pong game, it's not air hockey. And I'm going to now adjust my player 2. To move up, I'm gonna go and find the up arrow. Somewhere over here. Here we go, up arrow. And to move down, I'm going to press the down arrow. Cool. Now, I can move up and down, like so. Cool. Now this right here completes the first part of the two-part introduction into using Unity. Now the first two parts of this course is designed so that you use pre-made assets and graphics to make your game work properly. After that, we're gonna remake the Pong game, but we're gonna make it, and you're actually gonna learn how to code while making the Pong game. So all these scripts that we're using now, you're gonna be able to make for yourself in later lessons. So I thank you for your time, and I will see you in the next lesson. Thanks. Bye.